Imagine, almost 6,000 years ago, there were no modern cities, no skyscrapers, no electricity, no internet. Humans were still learning how to survive on this harsh planet. But in a special region of the Earth, between two mighty rivers, history was about to begin a new chapter. This place was called Mesopotamia. The word Mesopotamia comes from Greek. Mesos means middle, potamos means river. It literally means the land between two rivers. These rivers were the Tigris and the Euphrates. Today, this area spans parts of Iraq, Kuwait, and Syria. These rivers did not just carry water, they carried life, food, opportunity, and the future of human civilization. Every year, the Tigris and Euphrates would flood. These floods would destroy, but also create. When the waters receded, fertile silt remained on the land. This soil produced abundant crops. While humans in other regions were still hunting and gathering, here people learned. Agriculture meant a permanent way of life. This was a turning point in human history. When humans realized food could be produced in one place, permanent settlements began. And from permanent settlements arose cities. Around 4500 BCE, a mysterious people settled in this region. They called themselves the Sumerians. Even today, historians are not entirely sure where they came from, but one thing is certain: they were extraordinary innovators. The Sumerians did not stop at farming. They developed irrigation systems to control river water. They dug canals, built dikes, and directed water to the fields. For the first time, humans began to control nature. This was the true beginning of civilization. By 3500 BCE, a vast city arose in southern Mesopotamia, Uruk. Historians believe this was the world's first true city. Uruk had organized streets, massive temples, markets, administrative buildings, planned settlements. At its peak, the city held around 50,000 people. For that time, this was an incredible number. Uruk was more than a city. It was a new idea. People were not just farmers. There were merchants, priests, artisans, soldiers, administrators. This was the start of labor division, the foundation of modern society. The Sumerians realized a city doesn't form just by people coming together, it must be planned. They divided the city into districts, religious zones, administrative zones, residential zones, and commercial zones. At the center stood a massive temple called a ziggurat. The ziggurat was a stepped pyramid-like structure. It was the home of the gods. The temple was not just religious, it was an economic hub. Grain was stored there, taxes were collected, and trade was accounted for. In other words, the temple was the first bank. Another famous Sumerian city was Ur. In Ur, archaeologists discovered advanced drainage systems, houses made of baked bricks, multi-story buildings. Homes were built using mud bricks. Streets were narrow but planned. Some houses had private courtyards. Some even had primitive sanitation systems. Imagine, 6,000 years ago, humans were living this level of urban life. Each city was a city-state with its own king, army, and laws. The ruler was called a lugal. The king was not only a leader, he was considered the representative of the gods. This idea later inspired the divine status of the pharaohs in Egypt. Because here, for the first time, cities were built, planned societies emerged, administrative structures developed, economies were organized, human civilization had entered a new stage. Humans were no longer surviving merely for life, they were creating a complex society. But the story does not end here. Walking the streets of Uruk and Ur, humans learned another important skill: writing. They were about to preserve history. By around 3200 BCE, the Sumerians developed the world's first known writing system, cuneiform. The word cuneiform means wedge-shaped. They used a sharp stylus to make small wedge-shaped marks on wet clay tablets. At first, it was only for accounting: how much grain was stored, how many animals were traded, how much tax was collected. Gradually, these symbols became a language. For the first time, humans could record thoughts, stories, laws, and prayers. This marked the true beginning of history. Without writing, history remains memory, and memory fades with time. Mesopotamia was not limited to agriculture. Wood, stone, and metal were scarce, so the Sumerians developed long-distance trade. They traded across the Persian Gulf with the Indus civilization. Exchanged items included grain, textiles, pottery, metal tools. This was the world's first international trade network. Cities became centers of commerce. Not everyone in Uruk or Ur was equal. Society gradually divided into classes. Top, king, priests, military leaders. Middle, farmers, artisans, merchants. Bottom, slaves, often war captives. This social structure became the foundation of many future civilizations. The Sumerians were polytheistic. Each city had its own patron deity. In Uruk, the main goddess was Inanna, goddess of love and war. There were gods of the sky, rain, rivers. Each force of nature had a divine representative. Humans believed floods, droughts, and disease were the will of the gods. Thus, temples were not only centers of worship, they were political and economic power centers. Priests were highly influential. Each city functioned as an independent state, leading to competition. Who was stronger? Control over water, land, and trade routes often led to conflict. The Sumerians invented bronze weapons, chariots, and shields. These gave them an advantage in warfare. Around 2334 BCE, a ruler changed history: Sargon of Akkad. He conquered various Sumerian cities and formed the world's first unified empire. No longer independent city-states, there was now centralized governance. This idea influenced later civilizations: Roman, Persian, and modern states. The king of Uruk, Gilgamesh, became immortalized in literature, the Epic of Gilgamesh. It tells stories of friendship, the quest for immortality, and tales of a great flood. Flood stories from Mesopotamia even appear in the Bible. Mesopotamian stories still resonate in modern religion and literature. As cities grew, legal systems developed. Rules were needed to maintain order.
Cities, written language, organized administration, international trade, and powerful empires. This was humanity's first great rise. But this civilization was not permanent. Power struggles, environmental changes, and the rise of new forces foreshadowed future chapters. New powers rose in the Mesopotamian skies. After the Sumerians and Akkadians, a new city-state emerged: Babylon. King Hammurabi would make this city famous. Around 1800 BCE, Babylon was a small city. Under Hammurabi, it became a powerful empire. He did not just conquer lands, he unified the fragmented city-states. To manage such a large empire, he needed law. Hammurabi created one of history's earliest complete legal codes, engraved on a black stone pillar. It contained 282 laws covering property, family and marriage, trade, and punishments. The most famous principle: an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. This idea influenced many future legal systems. As cities grew, so did complexity. Crimes, disputes, and property issues required written rules. For the first time, humans realized written laws meant fairness. Even though social classes existed, this concept was revolutionary. The seeds of modern constitutions were planted in Babylon. Mesopotamians also studied the sky. They tracked stars, observed the moon, and tracked the sun. They created the first calendars. They used a sexagesimal, base 60 number system. That's why today, 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 360 degrees in a circle. Base 60 math from Mesopotamia is still with us. They invented the wheel, sailing boats, bronze technology, and advanced irrigation. The wheel was not just transportation, it became the basis for pottery and machinery. They controlled river water with canals and dikes, a battle of human intellect against nature. Alongside temples and palaces, schools called eduba were established. Students learned cuneiform writing, math, and accounting. Being a scribe was a highly respected profession. Knowledge was power. Life was not easy. Floods could destroy crops. Laborers and slaves worked hard on construction, farming, and warfare. Yet Mesopotamians dreamed. Advanced life, strong cities, divine blessings, and immortality. Like Gilgamesh, they pondered life after death, the first philosophical reflections of civilization. Mesopotamia was not just mud, bricks, or rivers, it was human stories, their fears, hopes, and struggles. Time did not stop. New powers rose. Old cities gradually sank beneath sand, but their legacy remained. The Tigris and Euphrates, once life-givers, became agents of challenge. Too much irrigation caused soil salinity. Crops failed. Nature reminded humans, "You may control me, but never fully conquer me." Foreign powers arrived: Hittites, Assyrians, and Persians. Assyrians were fearsome warriors and advanced in iron weapons. Nineveh, their capital, held massive libraries. King Ashurbanipal's library preserved thousands of cuneiform tablets from which we learn Mesopotamian history today. Eventually, the Persian Empire absorbed Mesopotamia. But was civilization lost? No. Today, the cities we inhabit, the laws we follow, the way we measure time, the way we record history, all trace back to Mesopotamia. They gave us the concept of cities, written language, legal systems, mathematics and accounting, astronomy and administrative structures. They were first, but not the last. The land between the rivers was humanity's first great laboratory. Here, humans learned how to build, how to write, how to govern, and how to dream. We are modern humans, but our roots are ancient, and in those roots flows the water of the Tigris and Euphrates.